Amid the endless chaos of the Trench Crusade, the Stigmatic Nuns emerge as living symbols of devotion and righteous fury. Marked by divine stigmata, their wounds mirror the suffering of the Redeemer, transforming agony into unyielding strength. Clad in sacred armour and wielding blessed blades and pistols, they stride onto the battlefield as the Lord's vengeance made flesh. Each injury deepens their connection to their faith, transforming suffering into unstoppable force. Their presence on the battlefield is a harrowing reminder of the Church's unyielding resolve and the cost of true devotion. Hey guys, welcome back. I've got another Trench Crusade painting video for you today, and this time it's the Stigmatic Nun. Another insanely cool model from the Trench Pilgrims. And the first part of the process is to prime the model in black, and then to tackle all of the skin on the model. And I used Army Painter Opal Skin from the Rose Skin Tone Triad. And this is a really nice light skin tone that should match the artwork skin tone. And I'm just going to apply 3 or 4 coats of this until I get a nice opaque coverage. And the reason I'm painting the skin tone first is because this can be a little bit of a messy process, but by doing this part first means I can go back in with some black paint and touch up any misplaced brush strokes. And after that was done, I applied a wash to the entire area using a 50-50 mix of Citadel Druchii Violet and Reichland Flesh Shade, mixed in with a few drops of water just to thin it down a little. And I just applied this all over the skin and made sure I wicked up any pulling. And after that had dried, I just went back in with the same opal skin and reapplied this to any area that would be naturally highlighted, such as the top of the chest, the centre of the stomach, and the top of the thighs as well. And a kind of cheat for applying bright highlights like this without having to go back in and blend all the transitions is just to take a very small amount of the paint on the tip of your brush like this, and then wipe off some of the excess onto your hand or a paper towel, and then just apply this in a scratchy motion across the area you want to highlight, and just build it up over multiple layers. Next up, it was time to tackle all of the metallic areas and armour panels, and to do that I'm going to be using Army Painter Gunmetal. And I'm just going to be very lightly dry brushing this on to all of the armour panels, using a very slight amount of paint on the tip of my brush, and making sure I wipe off almost all of the excess, and then just brushing this across all of the edges and raised areas, which is a really quick way to paint up a nice dark black metallic armour. And I'm just going to do the same to the weapons and the chains and trinkets on the belt as well. I'm then just going to apply a very quick dry brush of Army Painter Tainted Gold to all of the trinkets on the belt. And again, this is just going to be a very light dry brush. And this should just help differentiate these trinkets from the rest of the silver metallic chain. I then quickly painted up the cloth, firstly by base coating with grey Castle, and then applying a quick highlight with Great Tall Grey. Now that everything had been base coated and highlighted, it was time to apply a Unifying Wash of Villainy Inks Goon's Grime, and I'm going to be mixing this in 50-50 with some white spirits, and applying this all over the model via an airbrush. And you can apply this just using a normal brush. I do have plenty of videos on my channel using both techniques, and in the end they both achieve the same thing, which is to apply an all-over unifying wash and darken all of the recesses. And after allowing that to dry for around 5 to 10 minutes, I then come in with a makeup sponge and wipe away all of the enamel wash from all of the naturally highlighted areas. And just leaving the enamel wash in all of the recesses and shadowed areas. Next it was time to add all of the blood and gore to the model, and to do that I'm firstly going to be applying some Army Painter dried blood and just using an old frayed brush to stipple this on to the chest and shoulder pads. And once I was happy with that, I then went in with a fine brush and applied some streaks of blood emanating from the eye sockets of the helmet. Next I decided to go in with some Dirty Down Gore and apply this to the ends of both of the weapons. And this is the first time I've used this product, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. I started to apply this with an old dried out brush, but soon realised I'd overdid it and applied too much of the effect. So I switched to a smaller cocktail stick and just used this to wrap it around the ends of the weapon. And because I had initially applied a little bit too much of this, I just used my fingers to pinch away all of the excess. And after that, the model is complete and ready to be based in my usual Kraut cover A Tale of Grimdark, which is the perfect basing material for Trench Crusade. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this new addition to my Trench Pilgrims faction. And my plan is to paint up all of the models from all of the factions. So I have plenty more Trench Crusade content coming up over the next couple of weeks and months. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.